What up, guys? If you have been curious on how to start your Road to Glory experience with everything this game is throwing at you at launch, today I'm giving you guys the 7 most important tips EA doesn't tell you before you go and load up RTG, along with a full breakdown of the mode to make sure that you know everything that's going on. Whether you're new to college football video games or you're an OG, there have been a few things that have changed since the last game released 11 years ago. So today we're covering all the bases to ensure that you have the best RTG experience. When you begin your Road to Glory, fellas, the first thing this game's gonna throw at you is gonna be the settings page. And here's where my first tip actually comes in, is that you can actually turn off wear and tear system. I know a lot of you guys, really care about the wear and tear system, and I know taking care of your bodies is part of the, college experience, but honestly, if you don't want to manage that and you just want to have fun and have it be a little bit more arcadey guy, if that's kind of your vibe, highly recommend going in here, turning that off and making sure that that you don't ever have to worry about your guy getting hurt. You're just there to play a full experience. You don't want to deal with the lagging attributes. Now, if you want to make it more realistic, toy around with your skill level, that's totally fine. But I think if you're just trying to have fun, go in there, turn it off. You don't really need it. And then ensure that your guy's never just not going to be on the field because he's, hurt. He's just going to be on the field regardless all 4 years, and you can just have fun with the guy that you've created. And another thing that you can do as well, guys, is that you can go in here and you can adjust conferences. I mean, depending on what team you want to play with, if you want to play with a guy in a big school, I mean, for me, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, if you're playing like quarterback, you want to go to a school that runs a cool offense or a cool system. If you want to be a scrambling quarterback, run a triple option, you go to like a triple option team. But outside of that, outside of what scheme each personal school runs, I mean, I wouldn't mind just playing with whatever school, whether that's the SEC, Big Ten, MAC, Sun Belt. It doesn't really matter for me, because for me, RTG is a more personalized experience. But if you wanted to, I guess you could customize conferences in Road to Glory as well. Next thing has been covered. A lot of you seen some Road to Glory content in the past, but basically, you got the elite, you got the blue chip contributor, and the underdog. Basically, it comes with some sort of skill points and abilities to start that you can put into your player right away. If you're an underdog, you're gonna have a hard time getting a guy to start right away. But if you're a contributor, you might be able to start at a small school. Blue chip, you might be able to start at some, average 2 to 3 star programs. And then if you're elite, you should be able to get a starting job almost anywhere, as long as you're not trying to be like the quarterback at Texas behind, Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers. Next thing, guys, is, picking your positions. If you didn't know this by now, guys, you can be one of 5 positions. You can be a quarterback, a halfback, wide receiver, middle linebacker, or a corner. And each position has its own type of archetype that you can be. And this is very similar to things that we've had in the past. If you look at the halfbacks, you got the power back, the elusive back, and the receiving back. I don't think I have to go in a depth of what each one does and what it's good at. Quarterback's got the field general, the scrambler, and the improviser. Very self-explanatory. I mean, especially if you know a little bit of a ball. Every particular archetype that you pick has its own type of abilities that you're going to get. And then you level those up with skill points later on, but basically it's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, you can see what type of abilities you'll get as you jump in, but it's nothing that I feel like needs a lot of explaining. It's pretty self-explanatory stuff. And then basically you go, guys, and then after that you start customizing your guy, and basically you go in there and you start doing everything else everyone in this world is going to be doing with their guy. You're going to add the back plate, you're going to have the untucked jersey, and you're going to have the Jordans, obviously for legal reasons, and you're going to have a super advisor that you don't really need, especially when you're a quarterback. But you're going to go in there, guys, you're going to customize your guy, you're going to make him look like everybody else, you're not original, and then you're going to be able to jump into finally the week-to-week gameplay. So basically, as you can see there, guys, we even went ahead and created a guy. We even had our own hometown of Bearable, Wisconsin. So big shout out. Also, Short King, no big deal. And all I'm saying, guys, is that this guy, there's no way he ain't getting suspended at some point during his time. But before we jump into the weekly gameplay, fellas, if you're enjoying this content and haven't subbed to the channel, what are you waiting for? We're literally doing a free giveaway for a PSN or Xbox gift card once we reach 5,000 subscribers. We're gonna be there very soon, guys, so make sure you're on that. And while you're down there, guys, smash that like button and comment down below what position are you starting your Road to Glory with and what school are you gonna sign on to. After you're done creating your dog, you go in there, guys, you fill out this questionnaire, and basically after you're done filling out the questionnaire, you're gonna get a bunch of list of schools, which I don't know how much is gonna change. I think you're gonna be able to get the school that you want is gonna be able to get thrown at you some way, shape, or form. Okay, then you pick your school, guys. Obviously, Wisconsin wanted me to be a backup, and I wanted to show you guys some gameplay right away, so I went to Minnesota. We're gonna be the starter there right away, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of what that's like. So first thing you can do, guys, if you have an underdog, you don't have a lot of skill points to use, but if you go with anything higher than that, you'll be able to jump in here and do some skill sets. Here goes my second tip of the day, fellas. You've got to upgrade your attributes first. Don't go in here and try to unlock physical abilities right away, guys, because what's more important, as you can see, there's certain things that you're gonna have to unlock before you can even get to certain abilities. So increase the attributes before you go and buy abilities. Abilities are not guaranteed. guaranteed. Attributes are actually more important. One, you need them to unlock certain abilities, but two, they're actually the ones that are going to be there on a consistent basis for you. And that, like, if you're fast, you're going to be fast. Only because you get an ability that says sidestep doesn't mean you're going to sidestep every single time. Then you get into the meat and potatoes of what Road to Glory is actually going to be, which is basically these 5 things. You got a certain amount of energy you can expend on these 5 categories. You got academics, you got leadership, health, training, and brand. And basically I'm gonna go through here, guys, and show you what's actually important to start off, especially if you have a low rated guy. So guys, as you kick off the season, there's gonna be week 0 to start. It's gonna be a nice easy week. Very rare that your team's actually gonna be playing in week 0. So you go in there and you start doing trainings. When you pick your trainings, fellas, pick trainings that you are very good at. That is tip number 3. If you're very good at a specific training, go pick the easy ones. When you're low rated, make sure you got to get gold every single time. For me, I figured out how to do the option attack, so that's the one I'd like to jump into, and usually that's the one that's very fun for me as well. Making sure you're playing a mini game that's really, really beneficial for you. And if you need help practicing those mini games, guys, you can literally go into this in the main menu and just practice mini games. So when you jump into your RTG guy, you're really good at a specific event. You can go and find out what's your best event, and then you know, basically crack the system to become a starter right away in the Road to Glory. I mean, we just got absolute dogs at practice. Honestly, the Minnesota helmets are not even that ugly, boy. Actually, these units are kind of go hard.
A few moments later.
Practice a minigame that you're really good at. Do that in RTG non-stop until your guy, you know, gets all the attributes you can possibly get and the XP bonuses that you need so you can upgrade your guy and upgrade his attributes immediately. Then take those attributes and then go and buy abilities once they're really good. But then, guys, it's the weekly agenda. And this is how I would handle the weekly agenda, especially if you're a low rated player. First, you want to make sure that you're not failing school. Right now you're at 2.0, you're sitting pretty. Take care of those academics, make sure you're passing the class, literally. Put the other one in XP. Literally the first 2 attributes that are very important, especially if you're a low rated underdog or contributor, is academics. As soon as you're passing and you're already all studied up for the exam, just hammer away at XP to make sure that you get as many skill points as possible to upgrade your guy. Again, attributes before abilities. You guys, as you're going through and making sure that when you're upgrading your guy, for me, I think speed is king. So always having elusiveness on, getting that agility, and then the quickness. For me, those 2 are the biggest ones. I would increase first quickness, make sure your speed is up to 100, and then go increase anything else. Because once you're fast, guys, this game becomes a whole lot easier, especially if you're playing on really good difficulties. So make sure that you go in there, update quickness right away. That's another tip. Speed kills. Speed is king in this game, like any other football video game that you've probably played in the past. So make sure you go and get that quickness up. And then once you get that quickness up, you can start going into other attributes before you go and start buying abilities. Also, another thing you got to realize, fellas, is as you're going through this and you're answering questions, every decision that you make is going to go and affect one of the 5 weekly agenda categories. You can honestly, like, you know, think about what it's going to be. For example, in this one, don't look at your social media feed today. Your team is getting roasted pretty bad because, you know, we had a bad game. So I went in there and said, ignore it. So that's probably going to boost the leadership, but it's probably going to be, you know, bad with the fans, and our fan points are going to go down. You see brand decrease. Typical. So you can kind of put 2 and 2 together of what's going to increase, what's going to go down. First thing you want to make sure of, fellas, is that you literally, as you're playing this game, if your coach is just calling terrible plays, one trick that you can do is, as you know you're playing, every time the play is snapped, you can literally run a hurry up play. Go up to the line, call a hurry up play, then you kind of have some control to cheese the system, and you can call yourself like some vertical play or something that's a little bit more enticing than just the dude trying to pound it with some stupid jet sweep counter that's getting stuffed behind the line of scrimmage every time. So make sure that you go in there and you can literally run a hurry up offense. Another thing you don't want to forget, fellas, is that you can literally go in here and audible plays. You have the full hot route system for your guys, so especially if it's a pass play, go in there and adjust it. But that's another little tidbit that I feel like EA doesn't tell you as you're jumping in. And the final tip, fellas, change your camera angle to whatever makes you comfortable. The camera angle the game gives you, they're pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. I like to put on the, you know, the one that's a little bit farther back. I feel like I can see a little bit more of the field. The other one's a little too close. I mean, it's fine if you're a running back maybe, but always play with what makes you comfortable. You don't have to follow, you know, the true experience or whatever, that you got to go in there and just play with the right camera angle that it gives you. Just do whatever feels comfortable. Again, this is your game. This is Road to Glory. This is 100% on you. Don't let other people tell you how you got to play or this is the way to play a Road to Glory. Now, play whatever difficulty you want. Have wear and tear system on or off. It doesn't matter. Have fun with it and make sure that you're dominating Road to Glory. And after you're done with this mode, guys, winning a couple national championships and Heisman is at different positions and want to start dangling with a little bit of dynasty mode, make sure you catch this video right here to get you started. And remember, boys, nice guys finish first, and God bless. Peace.